Ever heard of a queen rumored to have a, let's say, intimate relationship with a horse? Yeah, history's wild. Dive into the audacious life of Catherine the Great, and trust me, it's not all about equine escapades. Catherine the Great, Empress of Russia, and a horse? Sounds like someone had a little too much vodka when they cooked up that story. But let's dissect this, shall we? The rumor, as wild as it sounds, suggests that Catherine met her end during an intimate encounter with a horse. Yes, you heard that right. A horse. It's the kind of tale that makes you wonder if tabloids existed in the 18th century. But where did this outrageous story even come from? Well, it seems that in the world of political rivalries, there's no low too low. Catherine, being the powerful and influential leader she was, had her fair share of adversaries. And what's the best way to tarnish a woman's reputation? A scandal, of course. The more absurd, the better. And so, this horse myth was born, propagated by those who wanted to see her legacy crumble. But here's the kicker: the actual circumstances of Catherine's death were far from this wild tale. She died of a stroke. No barnyard animals in sight. It's almost like people can't handle a woman in power without trying to bring her down with ludicrous stories. The persistence of this myth, even centuries later, speaks volumes about society's eagerness to believe the worst, especially about influential women. It's a testament to the lengths people will go to discredit and belittle those they see as threats. Alright, so we've debunked the horse myth, but let's not get too hung up on that, because you see, Catherine wasn't just about scandalous rumors. Oh no, she was a woman of substance, intellect, and, dare I say, a bit of an art snob. Diving into the depths of Catherine's mind, we find a woman deeply engrossed in the intellectual currents of her time. While most rulers were busy playing politics, or, trying not to get assassinated, Catherine was penning letters to some of the brightest minds of the Enlightenment. Thinkers like Voltaire and Diderot weren't just names in a history book for her, they were her pen pals. And their topics of discussion? Oh, well, just some light chatter on philosophy, art, culture, and how to run an empire. Casual, right? Now, imagine being Voltaire, sipping your morning coffee and getting a letter from the Empress of Russia asking for your thoughts on governance or the latest in French philosophy. Catherine wasn't just about collecting thoughts, she was about implementing them. She had this wild idea of turning Russia into an intellectual hub. And guess what? She kind of did. Her reign saw a flourishing of ideas, discussions, and yes, those oh-so-fancy intellectual salons. And while we're on the topic of her intellectualism, let's not forget the delicious irony. Here was a woman known for her many, let's call them romantic entanglements, deeply discussing philosophy and governance. But wait, there's more. Catherine wasn't just collecting ideas, she was hoarding art like it was going out of style. And if you're ever in St. Petersburg and fancy a gander at her collection, just pop into the Hermitage Museum. Yep, she started that. Now let's address the nude statue in the room. Catherine had a room dedicated to erotic art. Shocked? Well, remember, this is the woman who corresponded with the greatest minds and ruled an empire. A little room of risque art was just her letting her hair down. Or up, depending on the art piece in question. But here's the thing, her art collection wasn't just about showing off or indulging her passions. It was a reflection of her personality and her reign. A blend of the traditional and the audacious. The classics represented her respect for tradition, while the oddities showcased her willingness to push boundaries. And that room of erotic art? Well, let's just say it was Catherine being unapologetically Catherine. In essence, Catherine the Great was a complex blend of intellect and passion, tradition and rebellion. She was a ruler who embraced the Enlightenment, sought the counsel of great minds, and had an insatiable appetite for art. Catherine, the powerhouse of intellect and ambition, was paired with Peter, who, Let's just say he was more interested in toy soldiers than actual governance. Their union, a cocktail of infidelity, political tiffs, and a power dynamic that was, well, a tad lopsided. Catherine was the brain, the force, the vision. Peter, he was present. But here's where the plot thickens. Their marital spats weren't just pillow talk gone wrong, they were political chess. And in this game, Catherine was playing for checkmate. Then, cue the dramatic music, Peter's mysterious demise. Accident? Calculated move? Universe's intervention? The jury's still out. In the aftermath, Catherine emerged not as a grieving widow, but as a monarch ready to etch her legacy. And oh, what a legacy it was. From marital messes to political chess, Catherine's life was anything but dull. Now, let's talk about the time she basically said, "Move over, Peter, I've got an empire to run." The political pot was already simmering. Whispers of a coup against Peter III were making the rounds. But, as fate would have it, before any official ousting could happen, Peter took an unexpected exit. Yep, he kicked the bucket. Some say it was illness. Others, well, they hint at something more sinister. With Peter out of the picture, did Catherine sit around, twiddling her thumbs? Nope. She saw an opening and, like the boss she was, took it. She seized power with the kind of flair and determination that would make modern power players look like amateurs. And the public? They were a mixed bag. Some were thrilled, ready to throw confetti, others not so much. But Catherine, with her usual panache, managed to win most of them over. With the throne firmly under her derriere, Catherine didn't just rest on her laurels. She began what would be one of the most transformative reigns in Russian history. Catherine, our empress of all things extra, had quite the list of lovers. But she wasn't just about secret rendezvous in dimly lit chambers. She had a unique dining setup, where each of her lovers had a designated spot. Imagine that dinner table conversation. "Oh, you're the Tuesday guy? I'm the weekend lover." It was like a real game of musical chairs, but with more at stake than just a seat. Now, these dinners weren't just about food and flirtation. There were rules, etiquettes, and of course power plays. Every bite, every toast, every glance had political and personal implications. And while society might have raised an eyebrow at her unconventional love life, Catherine was unapologetically herself. Her lovers weren't just arm candy. They played roles in her political decisions. Talk about mixing business with pleasure. But wait, there's more to Catherine than just her love affairs. The woman had a thing for letters, and not just any letters. We're talking deep, insightful, and sometimes downright cheeky correspondence. From governance to the latest court gossip, her letters covered it all. And let me tell you, her wit and humor, second to none. These letters weren't just to anyone, they were to some of the most significant figures of her time. It's like having a text thread with the A-listers of the era. These letters, preserved over centuries, give us a peek into the mind of one of history's most enigmatic rulers. They reveal her intelligence, her charm, and yes, her mischievous side. So, the next time you think of shooting off a quick email, channel a bit of Catherine, make it memorable. Ever heard of Potemkin villages? Crafted by Grigory Potemkin, Catherine's ex-lover, these were elaborate facades designed to showcase prosperity. Think of it as the 18th century Instagram filter. While some say Catherine was fooled, others believe she was in on the act. Regardless, these villages became legendary, symbolizing grand deception. They highlight the lengths some would go to impress, and in Catherine's Russia, appearances were everything. It's a tale of love, ambition, and the art of illusion, all wrapped up in the grandeur of Imperial Russia. From the grandeur of fake villages to the somber notes of an empire's morning, Catherine's end is as shrouded in mystery as her life was in controversy. The Empress's demise wasn't just a personal loss, it was the end of an era. Contrary to the juicy tales, Catherine the Great did not meet her end on the toilet. However, she did suffer a stroke in the bathroom and passed away the following day, on November 6th or November 17th, New Style, 1796. The rumor of her peculiar death likely sprouted from the whispers of the Imperial Russian court. But, as with many aspects of her life, separating fact from fiction is essential. Catherine wasn't just a ruler, she was an unstoppable force, leaving an indelible mark on Russia and the world. Her legacy, filled with both triumphs and controversies, continues to captivate historians.